Imagine, if you will, that I have constructed two identical rooms, both devoid of anything other than light, floor, walls, ceiling. The only difference between these two rooms is that I am in one of these rooms, and in the other one, I am not in that room. You have a choice. Either you're with me or you're not. That's it. That's your choice. Well, I'm not going to force you to be with me if you don't love me or if you don't like me. You can be in the other room, alone, by yourself, with nothing to do, no one to talk to, just you, for as long as you live. Or you can be in this room with me. Which one would you choose? Of course, this isn't a choice. This is the logical fallacy of ad ballium. Appeal to the cudgel, appeal to the stick, appeal to force. There isn't a choice here, just the illusion of choice. If I hold you at gunpoint and demand that you do something or don't do something, you probably are going to comply, because the threat is that your life will be extinguished if you do not comply. This is not a logical argument that I am making. I am appealing to the threat of force to compel you to do what I want. If there is any type of hell, whether it be a lake of fire, lava, suffering, torment, separation, whatever it is that you think that happens, and the only other alternative is heaven, then this is a non-choice. You have a good outcome and a bad outcome. The illusion of choice is just that. It's illusionary. You're being presented with a bribe and a threat. Of course, it's even worse than that, because there's another illusion on top of this illusion. The illusion that you have an actual choice to make in the first place. Well, either you accept God or you reject it. Really? Which God? There's thousands of gods offered up by thousands of people throughout time. Thousands upon thousands. In fact, there's religions that are lost to history. There's beliefs that are gone and things that you would never even know about because, well, nobody has told you about them. Because for whatever odd reason, whatever gods there are seem to be isolated to certain regions until the people spread that idea of God around. God doesn't just directly pop in and reveal itself to people in the same exact way worldwide simultaneously. Rather, the God is more what we would expect to find if humans had come up with a concept of God, and different humans had come up with a different concept of God, and that these concepts over time slowly changed and morphed as these concepts got passed from one person to the next, from one generation to the next, from one civilization to the next. Some ideas were kept, others were discarded. Some were blended together with other concepts of God, and some were completely new. But let's step back from the reality of how God came to be, because, we're dealing with theology, so we gotta have to just ignore how gods have evolved and changed throughout time and just pretend that this God is the actual God, because that's what apologists do, after all, is they insist that their version of God, their version, by the way, because different apologists have different versions of God, but their version is the actual version. And they'll give all sorts of excuses for this idea of God that just don't make any sense. You said God was a loving being? Yes. Then why would it have people tormented forever? That doesn't sound loving. Well, it's not going to force you to be with it. Is there a different option other than torment, maybe? Maybe not torment without being with you, whatever that is. How about a fourth option? Or a fifth? How about lots of options? Yes, you can go to this amusement park. You can go to this library. You can go to this mall. You can exist in this state. Or you can stop existing. Or this or that or whatever. How about some options? If you actually care about me at all. A loving being would not be this way. So, maybe then some research is in order. You want to keep the belief of God. Fine, I understand. But maybe your idea of God is in error. So, why not look into it? Why not challenge your ideas? A cursory glance at some Wikipedia articles, at least, is a start. They will detail the history of hell and beliefs about hell. Of course, looking further into the matter, you'll find lots of articles about people's thoughts on hell and how the belief in hell has declined in America over time. Perhaps because people are moving away from this barbaric notion. Because perhaps people are recognizing that it's not a good system. Oh, but if you did bad, you have to be punished. There has to be justice. Everything you do is a sin. And in fact, you're born a sinner. You're born a criminal. So you deserve prison. Couldn't you make a nice prison then? Couldn't you just say forget about it? How about parole? How about rehabilitation? How about therapy? How about something? No, it's either jail or live with the person that created the system and not be in jail. And those are your only two options. Either be punished forever because I made the system where you're automatically wrong, or that everything you do is basically wrong anyways, or be with me because, by the way, one of the rules that you have to abide by is to love me. That's one of the rules that you have to follow. If you don't follow that rule, then you have sinned and then you deserve to go to jail forever. So it's either love me or else. That's not logical. So let's get rid of the or else bit. Well, then what do we do though? You just have love me or something. What happens? What's the consequence of not doing that? Is there cosmic justice? I don't know. Maybe. But maybe it's nothing like what you've believed all this time. Isn't it worth investigating? Isn't it worth finding out? Research into the matter to find out that you are wrong. Try to prove that you're wrong. A loving being would not have this incoherent, evil system. Hell cannot exist if God is a loving being. cosmic justice, then, would look a lot different. But still, it wouldn't be true justice if you get away with everything just by believing in a certain thing. What about your actions? Don't those matter more? So maybe that needs to be researched into. Although the sort of God that you would then have a belief in would not look like the Christian God, at least not the classical one, and maybe that God is closer to the actual God, if there is an actual God. But then that would mean not being a Christian. So I guess let's just go back to doing apologetics and make up more excuses for why God is super evil, but we're going to pretend that it's good anyways. Doing research is hard. Who wants to do that? Maybe, yeah, I don't want anything to do with you, but I also don't want anything to do with